Good day, my name is Vincent Fobert, and today we're going to talk about bots and botnets. This was just my cute little playful slide. Most of you are familiar with the movies. We think about our devices as working for us and obeying our inputs, but as you're going to see in the case of a botnet, that is most definitely not the case. Now, these are pretty much definitions I lifted out of Darrell Gibson's book. Again, we think of our devices as not having minds of their own. In this case, when they become bots and then join a botnet, they truly don't have a mind of their own, but rather they're being run by others. Now, as you can see by the definition, they're also known as zombies, and they, like real-life spies or real-life zombies, they check in with their handlers on a regular basis. Back during the Cold War, this was particularly prevalent, and now, during the new old days, you see the same type of thing, but with the computers. Now, the actual network, it's defined by Gibson as multiple computers that act as software robots and function together. The main thing about all these, as we're going to see later on in the presentation, is that people come up with these things mainly for one purpose. You can probably guess what it is: financial gain. And here, I apologize to people who have not seen the Despicable Me movies, but I thought these cute little illustrations were particularly applicable, because if you look to your left, you see the Happy Minions, and you can think of them as the computers and on the internet, and they're doing what their lawful owners are asking them to do. They're communicating in a constructive manner. However, once they become infected and absorbed into a botnet, they sort of become that single-minded engine of greed, as we're going to talk about a little bit later on in the presentation, for the financial gain of whoever is running the actual botnet. So again, you can see on the left, think of your devices as all doing different things, but within the harmony of the internet. But when they enter that botnet type scenario, they are single-minded, all doing the same thing for somebody's malicious purposes. And here we can see how computers are infected. No big surprise there. You can see clicking on the wrong link, etc., is probably the leading cause. IRC was the original avenue, but since then the hackers have grown more refined and are using other protocols. And I'll just pause here so you can peruse that a bit. And we'll move on. Can't emphasize this enough. Users, one of your devices may very well be a part of botnet, and you will not know. You'll be like our photographer here, and you will not know that you're facing imminent danger. Now, we're going to go ahead and give these people I've been mentioning an actual name. Gibson mentions that they're known as bot herders. It's a pretty broad term. And as you can see, they're the people who run behind this, who are actually behind these botnets. And as we're going to see, sometimes they prefer to control them themselves, but at other times they actually decide, oh, let me rent this out because I've constructed this botnet, and I'll just lease it to somebody so that they can give me a cut of whatever financial gains they're able to score. And some fun facts about botnets. It used to be, as you can see, a big deal. It was sort of a competition between hackers to see how many computers they could get it in their individual botnet, because obviously there were many different flavors, many different types, like there are many different types of other viruses and malware, the different types. So it was a sort of a game to gain bragging rights, if you will. But now the trend is towards smaller botnets because financial gain is most definitely the primary motivation for botnets. And I alluded to this before. about how sometimes bot herders actually run their own botnets, and sometimes they actually rent out or lease out to other criminals for the purpose of stealing from people, obviously. And some of them even go to the length of mining bitcoins as they do this. And once again, and as we're going to talk about in the next slide very briefly, people just don't know that this is going on with their computer. By design, they're trying to operate under the radar. There are other purposes for botnets, and this not so fine young specimen, while he was not a bot herder per se, he is somebody who was accused, at least, of hacking into a young lady's computer and basically trying to blackmail her into sending more revealing photos. So my point is they can take a day off from financial gain, although that is normally the primary purpose of a botnet is financial gain, stealing from people. And this statistic will probably keep you awake at night. It doesn't make me feel that good. 18 computers every second, and that was already back in 2014, and 500, that's a little misprint there, 500, as you can imagine, 500 million total devices a year. And as I spoke about earlier, there are a lot of different flavors of this. There are new ones coming out all the time, just like any other type of malware, but some of them do have a long career. And as you can see by the mention of this particular one, PonmoCup, it's been around for a long time, but it's stolen millions of dollars and it's still going strong. And here are basically where I accessed most of the information. Mark Ciampa, Daryl Gibson, we're all familiar with that, and some of the web sources. The Hacker News seems to be a particularly good source for any sort of topic. All right, hope you enjoyed this presentation of botnets, and have a great day.